Hi, welcome to Infogate Financial. My name's Noah Knightlick. I've been an investment banking analyst for 2 years now, and I've ran over $120 million of deal value. Today I'm going to teach you how to build a generic slide for the confidential information memorandum. As you're applying for internships and full-time analyst roles, you need to know that a majority of your time will be spent on the confidential information memorandum. Not only that, but in interviews you're also going to be asked about how to pitch a deal. Now, a confidential information memorandum is going to be a 30 to 50 page document that goes through the executive narrative, company snapshot, management biography, macro overview, financial overview, and products and services. If you want to learn in depth about the confidential information memorandum, make sure to join the Investment Bank Academy free 3-day course with the link in the description. You'll learn the investment banking process, how to build a confidential information memorandum, and how to connect facts in order to pitch a deal properly and tell a strong story to buyers. So today I'm just going to go over a generic slide design for the confidential information memorandum in order to ease you into the investment banking process. So let's get started. So any investment banker, when they are starting the confidential information memorandum, to keep consistency, will go to slide master view. So let's go there first. Now, how do we do slide master view to keep a consistent slide? Scroll all the way to the top, make sure you're on slide master, and then this top slide here. This top slide affects every single slide down below. We want to go to fonts, customize fonts. You want to set your heading font to any font that is professional. We usually use Sago UI or Arial. So you're going to set your heading font to Sago UI and body font to Sago UI. If your heading is that font, then keep it the same for your body. So let's save it there. So now we have Sago UI for our title and body. The next thing we want to do is change the colors. So we're going to go here to colors, and they have a lot of options in PowerPoint, but what I like to do is match the logo to the colors of the sim. In this case, I don't have a logo since we're just doing a generic slide, but what you would do is you'd go to customize colors and you'd change each part of the sim here. So for example, text background is dark right now. I'll set that to white and I'll show you why in a second. And then we do our accents. So accent 1, we'll do this dark blue, and then we'll just start going down the list lighter and lighter, keeping the same blue going forward. So I'll save that now. You can see everything went white here. That's okay, we want that, and here's why. So now I'm going to move the title up. And we're going to move it up to the top left and leave a little bit of space up here. Now we're designing the slide. We're going to insert a shape. I'm going to do this rectangle here, and I'm going to expand it across. Now, as you can see, PowerPoint gives you that generic light blue color, but in this case, you can see all of our blues are now saved in here since we set the accents. So you don't have those rainbow colors anymore. We just have these blues and they all match. So that's how we keep consistent color throughout the sim. And you'll see another cool trick in a second for that. So we have our blue box. We'll send it to the back. And then we have our title here. So if we exit out of slide master view real quick, now you can see if we add new slides, you'll have the same consistent title and font and colors on each slide. So let's go back to slide master view. And now if we go back up top, this is going to be your page number, this is your footer, and this is your date. We don't need a date and we don't need a footer, but we do want a page number here. The page number, let's set for blue. We have a choice here. And then I'm just going to set it in the bottom right here so that no matter what slide we have a page number now. I'm going to insert another shape here. I'm going to do a box, just like the top down below. Leave room for the number and bringing it up here. So now that we have the bottom design, I'm going to add 2 lines. This just adds a little bit extra. I'm going to add a line here, and it's already in that dark blue since we set it. And then I'm going to add 1 more line down below. I'm going to delete this text here because we don't need it. We'll be adding graphs and text depending on what slide of the confidential information memorandum we're looking at. Then I'm going to center this down. Okay. So let's close out a slide master view. And now we have a professional slide for an investment bank. All right. So what goes into a confidential information memorandum normally? You usually have different blocks on the slide. You could have, for example, sales and marketing. On the left side, you would have how leads are generated, leads, and conversion. That's a typical sales and marketing slide. So let's change the background here. Let's do lead generation. Change the background to white. Change our font to this dark blue. And then we'll get rid of our outline. And then I'll insert a line below. Then what we want to do is add a text box below. You can do another box here. Extend it. We don't want a shape outline. And then bring down the font to 14, bring it to the left and top. Insert text. Now what we'll do, we'll click the text box, the line, and your header. We'll go to shape, format, and group. Now we have a block. We can copy this block down, and then we have our 3 blocks. We want to make sure this center block is going to be adjusted to these 2. So what you do is you take the 2 outside blocks, and we want to keep those in the same place. So we want to make sure that those 2 blocks are in the place you want them. And you're going to click the center, go to align, and then we're going to distribute vertically and watch the middle. It gets adjusted. Next, what we want to do, we want to click on this top block here. We want to go to format shape, shape adjustment. We want to go to positioning, and then we want to check vertical positioning and horizontal positioning. We see a horizontal position of this block up here is 0.35. This one's 0.29, so they're slightly off on alignment. Make sure we go to 0.35. Now it's centered, and this one's already at 0.35. So now we're aligned on our blocks. So we have lead generation in sales and marketing slide. You would have lead conversion and the close. If you want to learn more about the sales and marketing slide or any slide of the confidential information memorandum, remember there's 30 to 50 slides. Make sure to join that free course for the Investment Bank Academy, link in the description. So now that we have these blocks on the left side, often a sales and marketing slide will also have some type of graph. It'll show lead conversion rates, cost to acquire a customer. Again, you'll learn all that in the full course, but let's insert a graph. So we go to insert here, and then we go to chart. And you can see that in our bar charts, we already have that dark blue. You don't have to format much. So we'll just take any bar chart here. And then we want to click the full graph and actually make everything blue font. So in investment banking, we like to keep as simple of a chart as possible that's easy to read, because oftentimes buyers are going to do a first skim. We don't have to worry about our data series in this case, but let's just do one data series. Let's keep it really simple. Okay, so in investment banking, you don't want a legend. We don't want grid lines. They're already whited out. We want data labels. We want a chart title. In this case, it's just series 1. And then we just want to get rid of this primary vertical here. So now that's what a typical graph in investment banking will look like. Very simple. Sometimes in investment banking though, you want to show data being compared. So let's add back our primary vertical. We'll exit out of this. So first what we'll do is we'll go to our edit data. We'll expand our series here. So now we have two series. I'm going to right click on this far right one. All the bars are highlighted. Right click on it. Change series chart type. And then for series 2, we're going to do a line chart instead. We're going to add a secondary axis. And now we have a line chart. I'm going to make the line chart a different color. So we're going to right click, format data series. We're going to go to a different color. In this case, for our line, let's do a lighter blue. And then what we want to do, we want to click plus and add back the legend, because now we want the line chart and the bar charts to be represented here. We're going to take our two axes, we're going to shrink them down to 1, and then make the text white so you don't have to see it. And then you have a professional customized graph that we use in investment banking. So let me show you a simple example of what a graph with a line chart and a bar chart could look like. So we have our revenue and then gross profit margins. Let's format it. So if you remember, we shrunk this data over here. If we go to format axis and look at this data, we have a maximum of 0.35. That's why the line chart is so high up. We can change this to 0.6. It puts it in the middle. We can move our percentages down under by pressing below. We can change the color to white. And then we can take our lines here, go to marker, and then if we go to marker options, and then you can change any shape. I'll do a diamond. Then we'll exit out. We want to change the diamond to that same blue color we have. So let's go back to fill, and then we'll do eyedropper and make sure we capture that blue. Now we have our diamonds. We want to change these percentages here. So if we go right click, format data labels again. If we go down to number, we want to go to percentage, and then we want 0 decimal places. So now our percentages are correct. And then we want to do the same for these numbers. So if we go again, number, general, we want currency, we want 0 decimal places. So now we have our revenue and we have our gross profit margin for a graph and then our year below. So here's a simple way to build a professional slide in a confidential information memorandum. Remember, this is just one example of many. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also join the free Infogate Financial Investment Bank Academy course. It's a 3-day course. The link is in the description. And you'll be sent videos on the investment banking process, how to build the confidential information memorandum, and how to connect facts throughout the confidential information memorandum. This is the prerequisite to the full Investment Bank Academy course. In the full Investment Bank Academy course, you'll go in depth on each slide of the confidential information memorandum. You'll learn how to build a buyer list, how to build a teaser, and how to build some valuations, which will help you speak through a deal in an interview. So make sure to join the Investment Bank Academy free course. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.